much.
You want to tell us your top issues and then asking that for each
right, right. Well, you know, I think that one of the top issues this year has to be the economy, has to be jobs, has to be attracting new business so that we can broaden the base of our economy, so that we can avoid overburdening our taxpayers with additional taxes. In the last cycle, my opponent co-sponsored a margins tax. That margins tax is nothing short of an income tax, which of course is illegal in Texas, on small business. One of my constituents was telling me the other day that instead of a franchise tax of $5,000, she's going to be paying a tax this year in June of $18,000. So the margins tax is a boondoggle and needs to be reformed. It will help Texas become more attractive to business if we do that, and that's one of the main things that I'll be trying to do in the coming legislature. Another major thing that I'd like to do in the legislature is to improve education in this state. Alan has made a wonderful start at doing just that by supporting educational initiatives. I will continue to follow his lead, and I'm going to try and do everything I can to make Texas #1 in education instead of 45 or 46. I think we also need to look at our health care situation. Last issue I want to tell you about. I think that it was absolutely evil. I think it bordered on child abuse, what happened in the last legislature under the Republican leadership. Over 2,000 children were taken off, correct me if I'm wrong, 200,000 children now were taken off of the insurance rolls, is that correct? Taken off of the CHIP program. Now, why is it that we think in Austin that it's more important to have a surplus than it is to have children healthy? I don't understand that. It's bad public policy, and it's hurtful to children. So those, I think, are my major issues, and I'll be damned if I don't do something to change it. Thank you.
Very good. Let me add on something to what Emil was saying about the Children's Health Insurance Program. When the state of Texas invests $1 to help insure children of working families, the federal government chips in $2.60. So when the state, in a curmudgeonly fashion, decides not to extend health insurance to our children, that $2.60 that you've already paid in your federal income tax, it's already sitting in the federal kitty, goes to another state, New York, California, Oregon, and that goes to insure someone else's kid in another state. Can you imagine a state legislature that refuses federal money that you've already paid in your taxes to insure your own kids, and instead would rather have kids go uninsured in the state of Texas so that they can end up at your county hospitals and spend 10 times as much of your tax money? Not only is it mean-spirited, not only does it refuse our moral obligation to take care of our children, but it's also bad financial sense. It doesn't make sense. And that's a key issue that I think across the board Democrats are running on in the State House this year. Also, just a decreased amount of investment in our public education, in our schools. And I wanted to mention another topic. Garnett Coleman, who was mentioned earlier, has talked about colleges and universities. College tuition in Texas public universities, college tuition rate has just absolutely exploded. And what that's done is that's put college out of reach of a lot of families in Texas. But what has also happened is that because of the 10% system where you get automatic enrollment if you get 10%, that 10% cap of automatic enrollment in our Tier 1 universities like Texas and Texas A&M, it's pushing students out of Texas and Texas A&M. I went to the University of Texas, and what Garnett Coleman called for is increased investment and reprioritization of money to our universities in Texas so that, number one, we can decrease college tuition and make it affordable again for our university students in Texas. And number two, to increase our enrollment capacity in Tier 1 universities in Texas so that more Texans and more kids of Texans can go to school in a quality school in Texas, stay here, and then get jobs here, and also the business development that's associated with those universities. And so that's another issue that I'm going to run on. But let me mention one more thing. It's just incredible. We have the highest home insurance rates in the country. Higher than Alaska, higher than New York, higher than Florida, higher than California, higher than anywhere. And we talk about the economic crunch that everybody's facing in Texas. It's those things, from college tuition to children's health insurance to the highest home insurance rates that peck and gnaw at working families to such an extent that they have to make awful choices. They don't go on vacation. Maybe they skip a doctor's appointment. Maybe they forego purchases. It's getting really tough for a